Before we start, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you're enjoying this content and would like to stay up to date with new episodes, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and turn the notifications button on. And if you'd like to support this content, then I would appreciate a review or comment if you're listening to this on a podcast platform. Enjoy. Then really question your choice for deciding on an MBA or master's. Are you really doing it for you? Or are you doing it because you believe that a piece of paper that says MBA or master's on it will make society or your family happy, or that it will increase your chances at professional success? Welcome to a new season of the One Day Podcast. I'm your host, Omar Almajali, and each week I'm here to discuss powerful concepts around business, mindset, or life, and often share the stage with some of the brightest and most interesting minds of the Middle East to help me do so. Happy to have you here. Enjoy this one. Should I get an MBA? Should I not get an MBA? Should I get a master's degree or not? Today, I decided to talk about a topic that's dear to my heart, and it is education, or the educational systems that drive us today. Whether to do an MBA or master's, this often is a topic on the head of most young professionals. We graduate from college, from university, we take on a professional career for a few years, then all of a sudden there's this pressure around this question of whether we should get an MBA or master's, or what should the topic of our master's be, where should we take it, and just a lot of criteria and a lot of factors and decisions that need to be thought of. My response to this question, whenever someone asks me, should I take on this educational decision as a next step in my career, my response is always, do you really need this education? Or are you doing it because that's the path that has been set by society? The reason I ask this question is because at some point in my life, a few years ago, I just woke up to the fact that us humans, we are driven by systems and by rules that were human-made, and that those systems don't always make sense. And one of those systems is this whole path of education, right? The fact that you have to go to high school, after high school you go to college, and then maybe work for a few years, and then spend loads of money on a master's or an MBA degree. And don't get me wrong, this path does work for a lot of people, especially if you are someone who is looking to pivot in your career, or you're someone who is looking to acquire a new knowledge or a new skill. For example, you have done engineering in your undergrad, and that's the career that you have chosen for yourself earlier on in your career. But now you want to learn more about the business side of things, so you want to take on an MBA. That makes sense. Or if you're someone who studied finance in your undergrad, and all of a sudden you realized you are more of a marketing person, or you're someone who's into fashion and you just want to take on a whole different career, then yes, taking on a master's degree or continuing to take on a different higher education degree would make sense to your path. But for those people who do not have a skill gap that they would like to bridge, or they don't have a curiosity in a new domain, then really question your choice for deciding on an MBA or master's. Are you really doing it for you? Or are you doing it because you believe that a piece of paper that says MBA or master's on it will make society or your family happy, or that it will increase your chances at professional success? In my humble opinion, I don't believe that this is true at all. I've been in the professional world for 8 years. I know they're not a lot, but I feel like they're sufficient for me to make conclusions on life. And I have yet to see around me a use case of someone who has succeeded in their career only because of their MBA or because of their master's. You don't succeed in life because of a master's degree. You succeed in life because of your hard work, your passion, your drive, your networking, your professional experience, your life lessons. And we live in a completely different time and world today than the times that our parents used to live in. We no longer live in a world where businesses and corporations glorify these MBA degrees and these master's degrees. Today, the means of acquiring education is transforming and changing, especially with the explosion of online educational platforms that are emerging, such as Coursera and LinkedIn Learning and more. In fact, the Amazons and the Googles of the world today are accepting some of these online certifications, and they're valuing them much more than they are valuing traditional college or master's degree. So again, before you make this choice in your career, just contemplate on the reason behind this decision. Is your decision to take this jump coming from a clear intention? There's a clear direction for you? Or is it coming from an outside noise or pressure? Or just because you think that is the right next move without really questioning why is this move necessary in the first place? And assuming yes, there's a skill gap that you would like to fulfill. Does it really require you to travel to the other side of the world for you to sit in a classroom and gain this knowledge in a traditional way, where you could do it online through one of thousands of online courses or platforms that exist today? And maybe here I can talk about the advantages of online education versus traditional um, traditional education, whether it's in the context of MBA masters or just like the general context of education. First of all, these courses are self-paced, meaning that the course will run around your schedule and not the other way around. You don't have to keep up with the pace of your classroom. If you are a slow learner, then these things could work out for you. Secondly, you can access this education from anywhere in the world and at any time. So if you are someone who is more focused and zoned in after 12 a.m., then you could study and take on an online course at that time. If you're someone who prefers to study outdoors in a park, then you can access an online course anywhere from a laptop, wherever you are. You don't have to be bound by classrooms anymore. Thirdly, and this is a general statement, I don't believe it applies to every single course and every single theme, but I do believe that online education or online educational courses are more agile in reflecting the needs of the job market today, and they offer more accurate education to what the job market requires today than traditional educational systems. Because traditional educational systems, they run traditional curriculums, and these traditional curriculums take time, and there are a lot of bureaucracies for changing a curriculum or embedding a new curriculum or adding a new knowledge or new chapters to a book. There's a lot that goes into that process. So that's why typically traditional educational systems take more time to adjust to the needs of the job market. For example, if you today would like to take a blockchain course, it would make more sense for you to find an online educational platform that would teach that. Or if you're someone who's looking to acquire a very niche digital skill, you are better off doing that online than signing up to a traditional educational system and having to just make adjustments in your life for you to acquire that knowledge. Fourth, it's cost and price. Why would you want to spend thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on an educational experience that you can get in easier and more seamless ways today? And again, my point here is not to underestimate or discredit the power of traditional educational system. I'm here just to hopefully make people more aware and conscious of their choices, and let them reflect on the reasons behind why are they making these choices in the first place. And just to make sure that these choices that they are making are aligned with them, and that it is coming from a place of intention versus a place of pressure. Because really, you don't want to end up spending so much time, so much effort, so much investment on something that you might not end up using at all. And I know a lot of cases of people around me who end up doing that. They take on a master's degree just because they think it's the right step, and they take on a course because they think that course is hot today. They graduate from that course, they spend a lot of time and money on it, and they don't eventually end up using that course in their professional career. So just be more aware and more conscious of the reason behind your choices, instead of making choices for the sake of making choices. And listen, there are people out there who would like to take an MBA or master's because they want to network, or maybe because they want to take a break from their professional world, or maybe because they want to experience a new city and they just want an education as an excuse to do that. Listen, these are valid reasons as long as you are doing them, or as long as these choices are yours, versus you blindly following a system. And the key word here is a system, because as I said earlier, everything around us is made up of these systems that are nothing more than human constructs, meaning that people who are not better than me and you came up with this path and decided that it's the right path for humans, whether it's this educational system that goes from KG and ends up with masters, or the 9-to-5 systems of you trading your time for money, or any other system out there. The good news is that people have been waking up and are starting to wake up to these paths that have been set by society. And today, a lot of successful people are paving their own way and making their own path. It is honestly no surprise that some of the most successful people out there who have created great impact in the world are high school or college dropouts, whether it's Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs, and the list is a long list. these people just figured out that education can be acquired in so many different ways. And even though these ways are not considered to be traditional, and these people were called crazy when they decided to take on these decisions and just drop out of these educational paths. But look at what they have accomplished. They also woke up to the fact that success is not defined by your grades. It's not defined by a paper with a college stamp on it. And that life is much more than just studying for a final exam that gives you a pass or fail. Education is really, really important. I'm not asking people to leave high school or just drop out of college just for the sake of doing it. I owe where I am today because of my education. But I think my definition of education has changed. And my first experience with this new definition was a few years ago when I came across this online course, an online community that teaches people how to establish careers online and make money online, whether it's through affiliate marketing or like what's also known as digital marketing or e-commerce. And when I signed up to this course, I think my eyes were open to a whole different world that I didn't even know existed. I realized that today from Dubai, and after my day job, after I'm done with my day job, I could sit and learn practical ways on how to make money versus study theoretical ways of how to make money in some course, in some classroom, in a book that might not even apply in the real world. So I took this course and I was able to set up an affiliate marketing business that's giving me passive income every single month till this day, although I'm not actively marketing anymore. I was also able to build an e-commerce business and sell products in the US marketplace, although it was not a success. But regardless of that, I think the point that I'm trying to make here is that within a few months of me studying affiliate marketing, I was already making money online through education that I learned on the internet. And I did not have to do any master's or MBA for that. And that was a side passive income that I was making. And I actually can leave a link in the description of this episode to those people who are curious to learn about these programs or looking to learn something new, especially if it has to do with digital entrepreneurship. I'll make sure I'll leave a link that people could access. And by the way, there are people out there who have established whole careers online and they're living a laptop lifestyle, traveling the world. They have not taken one 9-to-5 job, which is maybe a whole different topic that I can talk about in a different episode. But yeah, ever since that experience, I think my eyes were wide open to new systems of living or new systems of making money, new systems of learning that are not considered to be traditional, but nonetheless, these are ways that could allow you to be successful and it could allow you to live a more fulfilled life. To just wrap up the conversation and bring it home before I end this recording, I think the two main points I am trying to make is remember that us humans, we are often driven by decisions and paths that have been set by society or pressure or family. So for you to take control of your life and decisions, you need to make sure that you are always questioning the reason behind your decision. Ask, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for me? Am I doing this because it makes sense? Or am I doing this because someone has dictated that that is the right way to do it? So are you seeking an MBA or master's because it is delivering on a professional or a personal objective? Or are you making it to make your mother or father happy? Or maybe just to prove a point to people around you who you don't even care about? And also remember, I think the second point is just to remember that education is changing today. There are many ways through which you could acquire knowledge, whether it's taking an online course, taking an internship somewhere, that are closer to real life applications than studying theory in traditional means of education. So just contemplate on your decisions and gain your power back by taking decisions that make sense to you and that have meaning to you and to your own personal journey. This is it for today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. See you on a new episode very soon. Hope you enjoyed this episode and that you were able to pick up a thing or two that could help you on your journey of growth. If you would like to hear more conversations like these, please do subscribe on YouTube or through your preferred podcast platform. You can also follow more content and get in touch with me on Instagram at oneday.thepodcast. Till next time.